Good morning, students. I am Mujib Khan, Assistant Professor, Government First College, Kanakpura. Today we are discussing Bangalore University 6th semester BBA Strategic Management Unit number 1 Introduction to Strategic Management, Session number 6 Types of Strategic Decision Making. Dear students, in the last class we had a discussion on characteristic features of strategic decision making. Before going into the discussion of these types of strategic decision making, let us have a general discussion, then we will go to the specific one. So dear students, if a person is a single sole trader or single entrepreneur, taking of decisions, strategic decisions becomes easy. Depend upon the past experiences, depending upon the observations, depending upon the collection of information, he or she can take decision without any hesitation. But when the same person is in a group, taking decision becomes difficult because each and every one of them may have different opinions. For example, a person who is in a authoritative position of decision making sometimes may be familiar with that situation, few times he may not be familiar with the situation, or his friends or his interested parties or the people who are working in an organization may be familiar or may not be familiar with the same situation earlier. Past experiences has no details. In such situations, taking decision becomes difficult. So take the example of crossing a river. While crossing a river, single person can cross the river or cannot cross the river, depending upon his whims and fancies, his willpower, thinking, or the idea to cross the river. But at the same time, when he is going with the friends to cross the river, that experience may be different. Each and every friend may give one idea. That idea may be workable or may not be workable in nature. Some of the friends may tell that make use of the lag, taking into consideration the idea of a friend. If he proceed with the lag, or if the team members proceed with the lag, or his friends proceed with the lag, there are chances of this lag getting into sink in the river, or sinking of this lag may happen. There may not be more strength in that. Some may try to find out more and more options how to cross the river. Some may give the opinion of wading the river. Some may suggest to go back. Some may suggest to look for few more options. So there are so many ways of taking a particular decision when a single person is there, when he is there with the associates. Sometimes the decisions can be taken with a familiar situation. Sometimes it becomes complex to take the decision when the situation is not familiar. So let us now discuss the types of strategic decision making. Dear students, there are 4 types of strategic decisions. Let us discuss one by one. The first one is analytical decision making. First one is analytical decision making. Second one is heuristic decision making. Third one is expertise decision making. Fourth one is random choice decision making. Let us discuss one by one. What is analytical decision making? It is a decision making, it is a strategy is when you have got all the information relevant to a given situation at your fingertips. It is methodical and involves a well ordered sequence of steps to arrive at a decision. One may rely on information that is objective and can readily be observed. It is very attractive strategy because of the way it breaks up a complex decision in an array of smaller interlocking pieces. That means to say that analytical decision making is a methodical decision making which has got sequence, which has got step by step process to take a decision. More than that, this decision making involves a process with the help of already available information, or already the person who wants to take a decision on a particular thing has got all the information about that particular thing. It is analytical decision making. Here you can take the example of announcement of results. University divides the results into different courses, then once everything is ready, it declares, once the information is ready with it, it declares the results. Taking decisions relating to exam, after collecting the information about the number of courses, number of papers, number of students, number of exam centers, number of teachers, number of administrative staffs, number of non-teaching staffs, all these things are taken into consideration. Taking decision becomes very easy and very simple for a university. In the same manner, when the information is ready in the fingertips of an organization about the present situation and what is going to happen in future, they can take proper decision now. For example, now the government has announced the government has announced that the people should stay back at home for 2 weeks. Now the organizations who are into different business, maybe the eatables, or maybe the daily usables, or maybe the people into food industry, or maybe the people into banking, people into different types of activities or different types of activities or different types of businesses, they plan well because information is already available with them. Till what time people are given free time, till what time the business transactions can be run, who are the people who are given permissions to run the businesses, and in what way people can satisfy their wants. So the entry and exit time is given, the standard operating procedures are given, and from time to time it is brought to the notice of the general public through media, and the Department of Home Affairs is taking care of all these things. So, and there is another concept relating to the same pandemic, that third wave is going to come. It is already available information because in most of the countries it has hit like anything. So already third waves people are expecting. In that way, the pharmaceutical company, the people from medical field, the warriors, the organizers, the caretakers, the government executive people, the government personnel, people at the higher hierarchy, everybody are making preparation about this because they have got the information. But Be careful with this method. However, as the comfort of logic can sometimes be misleading, sometimes your guessing or your logic may be misleading. You might decide that you have enough money to keep your business going for the rest of the year without actually looking into your cash flow situation. Sometimes what happens? You may be under the impression that you have got enough cash. It is another example relating to financial decision. It is given as an example there. A businessman may assume that he may have enough cash to run a business, but the business situation again it is uncertain. Okay, and it depends. It is ideal only when you have an explicit and easily definable goals and can access all of the information you need and have the experience to know which information is relevant and which information is not. You also need to have time to go through the whole analytical process. Analytical decision making pertaining to different activities in the organization may be useful and sometimes may not be useful just because of reasoning or just because of logical and analysis. Sometimes trends and analysis may go wrong. But anyhow, let us discuss what are the pros and cons of this analytical decision making. Let us discuss the pros now. This is a versatile and methodical strategy, and it is pretty easy to communicate to your colleagues and employees. It works well when you can represent the variables and outcomes in terms of numbers. So, it is a versatile method. This method can be adaptable in all the situations, and you can communicate with your friends. You can communicate and arrive at a decision in analytical strategic decision making based on the information available. I just gave you the example of the preparation by different sectors: food sector, pharmaceutical industry, government, to face the third wave of this pandemic. But at the same time, it is only useful in circumstances that are specific enough to meet all of the requirements. It also requires experience to carry out quickly. It might therefore not be easy to carry out for the various methods or various ways. See, the situation is familiar or the situation is unfamiliar, the situation is general or novel. We cannot say that we have got all the correct information. You cannot rely upon the information. Information most of the time may be misleading. Third wave may come or third wave may not come. We don't know. But we are under the impression and guessing that it will come, therefore we are preparing ourselves. It is okay. Earthquake will come or will not come, we don't know. There will be a drought or not, we don't know. Just we have collected the information that last year and so month, so and so thing happened. The nature is giving back in different ways and different manners. So we can, based on the trend, we can prepare ourselves. So this is one method of decision making. The second method is heuristic decision making. Heuristic decision making relies upon information which is small in nature, and based on that information, little information, you start making generalization. So heuristic basically lets you make generalizations based on little information you have. This strategy is most appropriate when you don't have all the information you need, but you have mix of some information and experience at your disposal. Take the situation when you are driving. See, when you are driving, you see two red lights appear at about a car with right in front of you, and there is one car in front of you and two red lights are lighting up in front of you, and you have instinctively step on the brakes. Why you have instinctively step on the brakes? You got the idea that somebody has stopped the car, therefore you should also have to stop the car. That itself is enough. That information itself is enough, because it is your, just remember that it is from your past experience that such red lights are typical car brake lights, and you know how to respond to that. You need not have somebody to explain about that to you. Heuristic don't work all of the time, but they work often enough that we can trust them in many situations. You should use them when you have the right heuristic for the situation and lots of confidence in them and their accuracy. There also should not be a very great consequences for being wrong. So sometimes with less information and past experience, one can easily take a decision as to what is required to be done. What is required to be done? The people who are in metros and cosmos are the people who are the migrants, are the people who do not have a particular place to settle down. They depend much on online transactions for their day-to-day life. Maybe making of payment, receiving of payments, ordering of materials, receiving of materials. Especially during this pandemic situation, with the less information they have, the companies, for example, the companies who are running these types of businesses and who know about the psychology of the people in cosmos and metros, okay, the less information, with the less information and past experience, they can manufacture more, they can prepare more, and they can sell more. They know that there may be a demand, there may be an increase in demand, and we need to match the supply to meet that demand. So here what happens is, in heuristic decision making, with the little information you make general statements. So what are the pros and cons of this way of decision making? Let us discuss. This is a simple and fast strategy and can become subconscious with enough practice, leaving your mind free to think about other things. So this is a simple and fast strategy which gives a scope to think about other things. If small information is given and asked to brainstorm about the same, a free mind to think about other things is given, provided under this type of decision making, heuristic decision making. Then what are the cons of this method? There might be false sense of security which can be dangerous when dealing with a novel situation. You might also rely on the wrong clues to guide your decisions, which will obviously result in the wrong decisions. Sometimes the information may be wrong, sometimes generalizations may be wrong. So all these things may happen, and because of that, ultimately the effect will be on the type of decision. The decision will also become wrong. Heuristic decision can pull you into wrong sense of affairs. Therefore, taking a heroistic decision, considering the small information, may be a risk factor. Now the next one, third one, is expertise decision making. Expertise decision making. This kind of decision making relies on your expertise and competence in an area. This is when you know so much about something and have enough experience that most of your decisions are intuitive. You recognize the information and put it together without thinking too much about it, even though it does not seem to match up in the eyes of others. An experienced sailor, for example, will typically know if it is going to rain much earlier and much more easily than a novice. Sometimes all the information they need is wind picking up. This kind of decision works when you have enough experience in an area and easily check your decision against the right heuristics. See, expertise decision making gives importance to the experience in a particular area. The experience may be good or bad in that area. I will give one small example. If a housemaker purchases a pressure cooker or a ceiling fan from one particular company, the company may issue guarantee or warranty cards to those products to that purchaser or customer, and the product happens to be durable in nature without pilferage and damages and repairs. It was durable for about, long lasting for about 5 to 10 years. The same consumer, if they want to purchase other utensils of the house or home appliances, may definitely think of old experience. They will definitely think of old experience of purchases and less costly and more economical, and they may take the decision to buy the other utensils also from the same brand of company. It could be a ceiling fan, it could be a motorcycle, it could be a car, it could be the interior decorators. Likewise, it is accurate decision making. When we want to discuss about its pros, we can say that it is accurate decision making because it is based on past experiences. It is based on your expertise in handling that particular situation or handling that particular product. And if we are going to discuss about the cons of this product, we can say that because of the fact that most of the decisions take place on subconscious level, it's a hard thing to teach, especially things that the expert sees as obvious, which will be seen as pretty difficult by others. And also there is a tendency for the people to think that just because they are an expert in one area, then they are an expert in other area as well. So sometimes what happens is decision making with the help of experience, decision making with the help of past experience, okay, decision making with the help of experts. All these things matters in expertise decision making, and it saves the time. Most importantly, it is proved as accurate. It is proved as accurate way of decision making. In the beginning itself, I told you the story of crossing a river. Same thing is happening here. Some decision making is based on information, some is based on some other observation, some based on expertise and past experience. Now let us discuss the fourth one, random choice decision making. It is just like flipping the coin and saying head or tail. So anything and everything has the opportunity here to become the part of a decision making. Randomly, the management or authority can make a choice without lot of observations, without lot of expertise, without lot of collection of information. Randomly, the company can procure the material, company can procure the men, company can get financing decisions, company can take production decisions. So here in random choice decision making, so many choices are available. Here the management takes into account only the factor that various sources of a particular task is available. Let us select any one task without thinking much, without relying upon the information, without asking the expertise, just randomly selecting. And here the important aspect here is all the criterias or all the subject matters have the opportunity to become the part of decision making. So here we can say that this might seem weird, but flipping coin, just like flipping a coin, it's a very good way to make a decision. It is the simplest method and can save the time and be effective when you use it properly and effectively. So you have to, for example, if you have to divide your employees into different teams and know that the interpersonal dynamics may make it difficult for the individuals to decide which team to go with, random decision making can be effective way to get people teams without having a deal with interpersonal dynamics that follow. Because with limited time, okay, combining different resources, just I have given the example of human resources. The interpersonal dynamics may be different. So in order to mix the best interpersonal dynamics, we have to take random choice decision making. In other words, when we are discussing about the pros and cons of this, we can say that it's a fast and simple strategy. When we are talking about its cons, we can say that we are not going to have any control over the outcomes. Since it is based on a random choice, we cannot have control over the outcomes. The next time you are thinking about making a decision whether for your business or your personal life, take a moment to think about how you ended up there. What strategy did you use? Was it the right one in the circumstances? When you understand not just the decision you made, but you made it as well, you become a better decision maker for your personal life as well as your business. So, dear students, random decision making is also one of the important method of type of decision making, which not only give the way for brainstorming, for draining the brain, for collecting the information, for bringing things to happen in a very random way. One or the other advantages and disadvantages all these methods have, that we have already discussed. So today we had a discussion on the types of decision making, strategic decision making, or we can say that strategies of decision making in business, analytical decision making, heuristic decision making, expertise decision making, random choice decision making. Each one of them have got their pros and cons. Dear students, at the end of this session I have given you the multiple choice questions and the study material. Kindly go through that and try to collect even more information about the same topic and incorporate in your study material so that you can gain more about this. So stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much for watching the video. Take care. Bye bye.